Hey there, dear viewers, and welcome to the show. Today's episode is slightly unusual. I'm re-recording this intro in case you're wondering why things look different now and later down the track, because I sounded like a raving lunatic in the first iteration. Today's episode is about using objects as portals of exploration. And it's definitely a result of being in the house for a couple of days. It sounded like a really interesting idea at the time, so what did I do? We're going to look at different objects. The objects are from the pantry, actually. And we're going to look at the addresses of the objects. And we're going to look those addresses up and learn something about the places on the back. It's a little bit like random place generator game. I guess I don't know, or how can I justify doing this? It's really important to know where things come from and why they exist. And it's also just a really great learning opportunity as well. And you might learn something else about the world through the random product from your cupboard. You should try this. This is a completely normal thing to do. It was gifted an advent calendar one Christmas, and it had an address on the back, and it was a Russian address. And that, I guess, piqued my curiosity because it seemed odd that it was manufactured there. So I looked it up, and it was what you would expect, and not a very remarkable location, just a warehouse, a car park, snow-covered Soviet-era style architecture. But I saw one of the overground pipes that you commonly see in Russia, and at the time I didn't know what that was, and obviously discovered that's something that they do in Russia because of something called permafrost, which is a permanently frozen ground. I guess what I'm trying to demonstrate is that there are an infinite number of learning opportunities by exploring things like Google Street View and by being curious. I'm straying into the raving person territory again, I can tell. I'll just end it by saying that every object has a narrative, and it's really fun to explore those narratives, even if they seem really mundane or boring. Those things have a really cool backstory, and they're the things I'm interested in when I'm playing this game. I'm not interested in the pyramids of Giza. Well, I am interested in the pyramids of Giza. They're fucking amazing. But I'm also interested in why are those tree trunks painted white, or why are there so many cats on this street? Why is there a Prada store in the middle of the desert? If you don't know what I'm talking about, look that one up. Yeah, why are the gutters painted this way? Or why is there a hippo statue in every front yard of this town? Stay tuned now to watch the reveal of the pantry items that we'll be exploring via Google Street View later. I'm going to introduce the objects now. The objects up for exploration today, paying homage to the Advent calendar portal experience I had several years ago. We've got the San Pellegrino sparkling water. We have the premium coconut milk. You can tell I have, can't you? This is such a shut-in fucking episode. This is exactly what a shut-in would do. Someone that's just has the weirdest cabin fever. So they're like, what are we going to do today? I know, we're going to look up fucking addresses on tins. Okay, next we have the elevado salsa de jalapeno. Then we have some Vegeta veggie stock. Feel free to sponsor me. I'd love that. Now, this one is quite interesting. It is called, I always say it wrong, asafoetida. It is something you add to curries and in Indian dishes, or perhaps other dishes as well. It smells quite rank, like the smell of a durian, like sulfur. But in the dish itself, it makes it nice. And last but not least, I picked something that I know is manufactured in Australia, but this is a small tribute to Geoguessr, and we've got the Duck River butter. All right, let's begin. I'll say goodbye. The rest will just be my voice coming to you from the other side. The digital veil. Okay, so we have arrived at the first object location, and that was San Pellegrino mineral water. So this is San Pellegrino Terme in the Lombardy region of Italy. And it is surprisingly stunning. Yes, I am surprised. I thought it would just look like a bottled water factory, but no, it's beautiful. location. Something you probably see out there. I don't know. What's that amazing film? Bloody hell. Call Me by Your Name. Anyway, so yeah, this is San Pellegrino in Italy, and it holds a treasure trove of history and natural beauty, as you can see. And by the looks of it, a lot of architectural elegance too. Its buildings are stunning. So this town is obviously renowned for its pristine mineral water. And if you don't know what mineral water is, it's water from a mineral spring. This is obviously one of the rivers or the springs, and it contains various minerals, typically salts and sulfurs, compounds of salts and sulfurs. Sometimes it's still water, or sometimes it's sparkling, which means it's carbonated with CO2. This area is famous for its Art Nouveau movement, which I've spoken about in other episodes, and it has a number of buildings that reflect that bygone era and speak to this area's artistic innovation and grandeur. Here's one of the said buildings. This is called Casino, I think. You might remember that this particular architectural style is famous for its sort of intricate designs and floral motifs and a little bit of whimsy. Here's someone appreciating the whimsy right now from this photo that's taken from the ground, seemingly, or from a very small person. So this place is famous for a visit from a very famous polymath. Polymath is someone who learns broadly, is someone that is interested in innumerable topics, and that someone is none other than hero in a half shell, Leonardo da Vinci. He visited the San Pellegrino Terme. He was enticed by the reputation of the healing spring waters. Here's some of them here that have been filtered into a pool. Here, perhaps this is what he looked at. So he journeyed to San Pellegrino, spent some time here. He had a sip of the water, swam in it. He investigated its purity and the mineral composition, and it's said to have inspired some of his scientific inquiries. Yeah, pretty interesting place. A very popular holiday destination as well. A lot of people like to visit this place here, the QC San Pellegrino Terme. I think Terme means baths in Italian. And people will swim and bathe in the springs, as you do. Interesting intersection of science, art, history, the natural world, all the things. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that my humble bottle of San Pellegrino water that I will reach for in the middle of the night after excessive drinking comes from such a beautiful place. And not a factory, which is what I was expecting. It's bottled here. I even suspect that it's bottled somewhere around this shop. It's probably bottled in lots of places, other places too, or like they put it in a tank and send it somewhere. Yeah, so that was a good first object exploration into this really stunning little piece of northern Italy. The Lombardy region is north of Milan, I guess, approaching the mountains and the Dolomites and all those fucking places. Here we go. Lovely. I don't know if any of my listeners are fans of mineral water. I quite like San Pellegrino. It's not too minerally. It's not like drinking bore water, for example, which is obviously water that comes from an underground reserve. Mineral water does too. An underground reserve, like from an ancient water body. And there's quite a few in Australia. And that smells like, not like dirt, it smells like, just metal. It's so strong, but it's obviously fine to drink. All right, on to the next item. Okay, so the next thing from my cupboard that we're going to explore is Vegeta Real Gourmet Vegetable Stock, not to be confused with this Vegeta, Goku's villainous brother. It is packaged in Australia, but it's made in Croatia, interestingly, in a city called Krobnica or Nica. I apologize. So this is the headquarters for Vegeta, and I love this so much. This is what I was expecting for San Pellegrino for some reason. We've got a pretty drab-looking building here, but I just love the look of these blinds, all at different heights and a little bit of skew, and just the pairing of it's very veggie stock colors, isn't it? We have that kind of like half-cooked celery with a bit of brown. And yeah, it's not an attractive building, but to me, it is an extremely attractive building. And this is the headquarters for Vegeta. So it's obviously a charming looking city. It's in northern Croatia, just, yeah, north of Zagreb. And it's a city that was established in the 13th century and evolved from being a medieval fortress to a kind of trade hub. It's also very proud of its artistic movement and its culinary movement as well. So, one of the interesting things I learned about this place is about something known as the Hebine School. There's a H out the front. I don't know if you say it. Hlebine. I don't know. This isn't the school. Found this image of a schoolroom that I quite liked. I love interiors, as you know. There's a very famous school here, and it's known for its naive art movement, which is an art movement I am not familiar with. So, the naive art movement is characterized by its self taught artists, and they often depict really vivid or pastoral scenes. So, to be a part of this particular art movement, the art's produced by people without any classical training, so people that haven't been to art school, without having been informed or educated on different art movements or art theory or yada, yada, yada. Clearly, I know what I'm talking about. If there is a fine art expert available that listens to this show, not naming anyone in particular, leave me a message and let me know if you learned about the naive art movement when you went to school. Yeah, I don't know any fine art students or art teachers. All right, so yeah, let me show you some of this naive art. Oh, and they have a name for artists that create naive art that were classically trained and then I suppose try to reproduce naive art, and they call it faux naive art. I thought that was a pretty good fuck you to leave our style alone. We did not have the privilege of a formal education, a formal fine art education. So yeah, that was interesting. So they have a famous gallery here. Where was it? I don't know. It's somewhere, but this is the gallery website. And here are some examples of naive art that are displayed in their town museum. So this particular piece is by Ivan Generalic, and he was discovered by this guy who was an academic at Zagreb, the fine arts department. It's beautiful. These horses scare the shit out of me. Unicorns. Here's another one. Pastoral scenes are often depicted, as you can see here. Whoa, this one's called The Crucified Rooster. Yeah, and that one's by Ivan as well. He has a very particular style, doesn't he? I don't know if anybody is familiar with the pastoral or what the pastoral means in an art or a literary sense. Pastoral literature or art usually depicts a really idealized landscape or lifestyle of farming being this really beautiful and abundant sort of pastime where everyone's just frolicking around in these bucolic settings with their cows and their goats just having the best time ever. Pastoral landscapes are often depicted in religious poetry or music, often with lambs and fawns skipping about, being innocent and shit. It really, yeah, romanticizes the experience of a rural life. Although this depiction isn't looking very pastoral, this is looking bone chilling to me with that bright red sky. I guess it depends how you view a bright red sky. Paradise Lost is obviously another example of, I guess, a pastoral text, as well as, I don't know, things like even the fall from the Bibi or the nativity scene. What else? Work of Virgil. I'm going off track, I know, but a few more things to add about the pastoral, and that is that it's typically written by people that don't work in these settings, and I guess it speaks for, or yeah, speaks for, pretends to be the voice of those people. So I don't know if these works are that pastoral in that sense because they're obviously, I don't know. I've just discovered this art movement created by people that were, in fact, living these lives. Anyway, but of course, the reality is that the pastoral life isn't bucolic and idyllic and beautiful and clean with prancing lambs and cows and sheep and happiness. It's a really fucking hard life full of backbreaking toil and tragedy and loss and death, a lot of death, because you're having to look after so many vulnerable animals. Yeah, very interesting literary mode that's depicted in art, film, and poetry and stories. If you've ever read Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, this is Stella's parody of how the rural life is romanticized. And she's challenging or making fun of some authors at the time that, yeah, were portraying rural life in a particular way. It's a really good book. So, as per usual, I'm well off track, but I really enjoyed discovering this new art movement, which I hope I've understood correctly. I'm not sure if I did, especially since I went on that whole pastoral mode tangent. These images are described as pastoral, but I don't know if they necessarily mean what I was referring to. Anyway, but I don't know how they couldn't be. Pastoral is from the word pastor as well, by the way, as in PASTOR. What am I doing? What am I doing? What's going on here? I've forgotten. Let's get back to the show Diddy and keep talking about this place. This region is known for a condiment called avar. I don't know if you pronounce the J. Yeah, it's AJVAR, which I've it got in the fridge right now. It's like a condiment made with capsicum and spices, and you eat it with bread and whatever. And it's very popular in Eastern Europe or the Balkan region. Actually, found something interesting about Avjar and how it became popular. I'll tell you this in the classroom. So the name Avjar comes from a Turkish word, and that word is Havyar, Havyar. I'm just going to spell these words rather than say it. And that Turkish word is the word for salted roe or caviar. Fascinating. And why is that? Why is that fascinating? Before the 20th century, the sturgeon and caviar trade was booming. The domestic production of caviar became unsteady. So there was some sturgeon problems or caviar production problems in the region, and it wasn't being made. They had to come up with something else. So they made a special pepper salad as a substitute in restaurants in Belgrade. And rather than, they couldn't call it caviar because it wasn't. So they called it red avar, which, yeah, the word is derived from caviar as a replacement. And that's how that particular condiment was born, as a sort of quick fix for the lack of sturgeon or the production disputes that were taking place in the 1890s. I wonder if they have any avar in their fridge. And this little, maybe this is a little culinary classroom, actually. Who knows what's being learned in this room? I could look up those words, but I'll be here till the end of days. Okay. Oops. So yeah, there's a lot of industry that takes place in this area, and it's obviously home to Podravka, which is the food company that produces Vegeta, and it's iconic in this area. Their influence is so integral to the city that they actually have a museum showcasing the history of this Vegeta veggie stock. So yeah, there you go. A lot to be learned from this place. I hope that was fascinating. And let's move on to Duck River butter. Okay, here we are with Duck River butter, which has been produced in Tasmania since 1904. However, I've just discovered it is no longer produced on the Duck River. Geoguessr did not bring this to my attention, and I feel slightly misled. Anyway, the butter was actually awarded the Grand Dairy Award this year, in fact, for being a premium butter. But this butter's made in Sprayton, not Duck River. Let's talk about its origin story and the place it was from. All right, so you're joining me in Smitherton in Tasmania, and this is the famed Duck River here. I found one duck, I think here. It might be a tern or a seagull, but doesn't matter. Oh, and who's that? Somerton man or a fisher person? We're in northwestern Tasmania. So Smithton is a gateway to, I suppose, Tasmania's rugged wilderness, and it's also an agricultural hub. Obviously, one of Smithton's famous jewels in its crown is the Duck River Butter Company. Now, let me show you that company. So here is the building, the Duck River Butter Company on Goldie Street in Smithton, just down the road from the actual Duck River. I think when it was established, it was actually called the Duck River and Bacon Company, but they've dropped the bacon for some reason. It began in 1904 and it had small beginnings. They drained a lot of swamps in the area to begin agriculture in Smithton and to begin producing butter. It became a local favorite and it's exported widely as well. And it's alleged that it's on shelves, supermarket shelves across Australia and beyond. However, I've never seen duck butter in this state, this secret state that I live in, state of mind. So this region's famous for its fertile lands and a favorable climate for dairy farming, which allowed Duck River Butter, not Bacon Company to thrive. And yeah, I guess solidified, no pun intended, Tassie's reputation for having really good dairy products. I'll give you that, Tassie. You have some good things to put in the mouth. Now, including this butter, I really like this butter, or spread, whatever. The box says it spreads from the fridge. I've not seen that in action. It's all very interesting, but the butter's not produced here anymore. The butter has moved. Oh, before I move on, I found this other image of the factory, the bacon butter factory, duck bacon butter. And I found this post out the front from this image taken from 2019 with a little guitar pinned to this. And I wondered if Jessa might be able to tell me why this might be here, if there was some significance. If this is like a guitar loving town as well as a duck butter loving town. Yeah, let me know, Jessa. All right, so this is as close as I could get to the Duck River Butter Company, which is now made by a group called Fonterra. Yeah, it's Area 51 in here. You cannot get past this point. They don't want you there. You're not even allowed to use the brakes in your car, for crying out loud. It's private and you stay away from our duck butter. So I did find this overhead image, and yeah, that looks like a pretty modern dairy. However, how they can still trade as duck butter is beyond me, because they're clearly on the Mersey River now. Wow, it's a bit swampy too. Interesting. Anyway, so Mersey River butter is what I will be referring to it as from now on, just so you know. Now, these were just some other things that were nearby the Duck River and Bacon Butter Company, and Sprayton's actually quite close to Smithton too on the map. I guess it doesn't really matter. This is a geographical landmark in this area known as the Nut, and there's a chairlift to get to the top. It's quite famous. This area is also famous for the Circular Head Show, which I was disappointed to learn is just an agricultural festival. What a misleading fucking name. Here's the Circular Head Show here. These children walking their cows. Pretty sure that's the Nut in the background, featuring again, if I'm not mistaking my nuts. So that's Duck River butter, and it is a very nice butter. But yeah, I was surprised to see that it's no longer made where it says it was made. And it doesn't have an address on the container either, which I found a little bit misleading. I think they were obviously worried that their location or their place story was significant in the butter's popularity or appeal. So they haven't really advertised the fact that the butter isn't made here anymore. Butter isn't made here anymore. And I'm whistleblowing that fact. Maybe it's public knowledge. It's an indoor cricket centre now, for crying out loud. What an insult to ducks, to butter, and to rivers everywhere. But yeah, you heard it here first. The news broke on the Duck River butter scandal of 2023. Wonder when it did move. Let's just go back to their website. Maybe it says, made at our Sprayton site. When? Let's ask the internet. Get to the bottom of this shit. Here's a Sprayton dairy worker, Adrian Wells. He's spent half a decade making butter. That's very commendable, sir. He's holding 2 Duck River soft butter packages. This is posted in 2020, so the move at least happened 3 years ago. Let's see. It says here, this is a quote from Adrian, who's pictured here. There he is, there he is there, from his early days in the industry. He says, I reckon nearly 90% of people who live in Tasmania have a tub in their fridge. And I believe him. And he also says something here, which I'm sure resonates with Jessa. He says, when we go to visit our daughter in Queensland, my wife takes 6 tubs to give to her in her hand luggage. How many people are bringing butter over on those Rex flights? I would like to know. So many parents just with their handbags loaded to the zip with Duck River butter. They need to make a butter allowance. I didn't know you could just carry dairy on flights. But yeah, Jess's lifestyle has opened my eyes to the possibilities. This still doesn't really clarify when this move took place, so we'll just have to dig a little bit deeper. Paywall. Someone's trying to hide something. Okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere. No, we're not. Very confusing. I want to know when that factory stopped making butter. Why is that so hard to find out? I can't let it go, but we might have to revisit that on another day. Before we move on to the next product, I just wanted to share this article I found from the Lonnie Examiner, an article that was written in 1985. It's from a correspondent. It says, news from the Duck River may be of some interest to your readers, for we are to be favoured a few days from date with telephonic communication, thus adding another link to our importance. One great topic of note in our midst just now is the amount of sickness which is troubling our good folks. A bridge across the Duck River is like an old man who, from old age and general decay, is ready to give way when the slightest pressure is brought to bear. He did say something quite alarming, though, in this paragraph. He says, the approach to our school and church would perplex and astonish some of your townsfolk, who have nicely paved streets to walk over. The settlers have been obliged to fix planks along many parts of the track so that the little ones going to school may not be drowned. I don't know if he's over-exaggerating and that they're like extremely large puddles, or if there's some... I'm just trying to imagine this landscape, what's going on at Duck River, at Smithton. All right, I think we've covered everything. We still haven't unraveled the mystery of when Duck River butter moved. Maybe we'll try one more time. So because of the diversifying global markets, the industry changed a lot. The number of dairy farmers declined in Tasmania. This led to some industry changes, some machinery changes, a lot of automated and automatic systems. They're the same fucking thing. And also the formation of the United Milk Tasmanian Company in 1981. So that's probably when all of this went down. It just occurred to me that Geoguessr actually has a special friend that probably has some insight into, or some additional knowledge. Perhaps that friend could shed some light on this Duck River butter mystery. I want to know when those doors shut and when the first tub of Duck River butter was churned out of that mystery Sprayton location on the Merson River, or whatever the hell it was called. The Mercy River. Have mercy on me and your Duck River butter lies. I'm sick of you. All right. I think I've spoken on this more than anybody was interested in. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, it occurred to me that I've been looking for a while and still have 3 more to go, so perhaps 3 is the limit. The Duck River butter mystery carried on for longer than I expected. So these are maps that are loosely themed, and this might accidentally be an episode of Crap Map Spectacular as well. So let's begin with cows on every continent. Hopefully we get continents right, but let's just go carefully. So we have a cow here in a paddock, as expected. Several cows, in fact. Some Friesians, dairy cows, and the other. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? Isn't it? Let's just suss out the buildings. I imagine I'm going to do poorly on this one. The sun is looking north. Now, I thought perhaps the southern hemisphere as well. If this is Australia, I'll be sad because I'm not going to pick it. Although I probably should know. These look like gum trees. Do they look like gum trees? My thoughts were there are a lot of cows in Uruguay and Argentina, I think. That's what it's known for. It's not just known for cows. But that's a thing for sure. Gosh. If I was driving through this landscape, would I be like, oh, I'm in my home country, Australia. Australia. I know where I am. Yes, I would think that. Let's go for it and see. I know everything about where I reside. This is going to be wrong, isn't it? Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. You did hear everything I just said though, right? Fucking hell. No, I'm taking 5,000 points for that. I don't care. Look at the latitude first, and then everything I said. The latitudes are significant. If you fall on a similar latitude to someone in another continent, that landscape is going to bear a striking similarity. Anyway, I don't feel badly about picking the wrong continent. Okay, next. So that rules out South America now, which is good. Europe, I know a Swiss cow when I see one. I'm assuming it's a Switzerland because they're on a hill. They're on hills and quite famous for their cows also. And these buildings and shit look pretty Swiss and it all looks pretty pastoral, if you remember from a mere 1.5 hours ago when I was talking about that. No, it wasn't that long ago. Okay, Switzerland, where are you? Well, I've lost it. Cool. So we'll just pick somewhere a little bit LP. I don't know, it was going to be Interlaken or something like that. Oh, it was in Liechtenstein, whatever. All right, so that's Europe and South America off the table, which leaves the other places, including Oceania, which this might be now that I'm looking. Although those mountains are confusing me. If nothing else, this has really confirmed that I don't know much about the world. Cows, where they belong, where they're going, where I'm going. I'm going to say Tasmania for this. Not Tasmania, sorry. I'm going to say New Zealand for this one because I saw some snowy mountains and I also saw these high possum guards that I mistook for Tasmanian ones a little while ago. It makes sense that they have possum guards here in New Zealand as well as Stobie poles, which I also see here, I think, because this country is overrun by possums. It's been completely taken over by possums. I don't know how we can help them. If you ever meet a New Zealand person in Australia and they see an Australian possum, they treat it with such disdain. They're just not a fan at all. All right, so we've left. What do we have left? Europe's off, South America's off, Oceania's off. We've got Asia and Africa and another place I've forgotten. All right, so let's assume we're on the African continent, but let's try and figure out where. And where's the cow? Oh, they're driving the car. All right, so we're looking. I don't think we can trust this compass. We're looking north and the waters west of us. Thinking we might be in Madagascar or on the western coast of Madagascar or on somewhere down here. Maybe along here somewhere. I'll try and see what happens. Would you look at that? It was on the western coast of Madagascar. I'm loving all my second guesses or my first guesses. They've been my first guesses and then I switch and then, yeah, I'm just the worst. Okay, on to the next. I think Asia's hello, what a cute cow. The only continent remaining and let's try and figure out where we might be. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't know about this one. Asia is the last continent, right? I think it is, although it looks like fucking England. No. Unless you included examples from more than one continent. Because that looks like Westminster Abbey. Does it not? I think I have to go to London for this. Is that absurd? Is this absurd? It is absurd. It wasn't one from each continent. There were 9 locations or something. It wasn't there? There's not 9 continents. Oh, I might regret this. Okay. All right. It was Cambridge, so that makes sense. It wasn't Westminster Abbey though, but it had that Abbey vibe. And yeah, I guess it wasn't 5 locations. So there you go. I don't know. I was banking on that. I did for almost the entire round. Anyway, pretty okay overall, except for mistaking my home country for my home continent for another, but that's okay. You live, you learn. And yeah, I contemplated Madagascar. I thought it looked like it fit, but didn't trust myself, as per usual. All right, I obviously got sucked in by this ridiculous title, so it's going to rip through the buttered cat paradox and see what's up with that. I don't think I can play all of these. This has been going for a long time. The map maker's drawn our attention to something up here. Not seeing what though. What's a wig shop, barbers. Oh my god, that scared me. It's wait, this is a cat town. Anyway, here's a cat, the cat in question, on a street post, and yeah, just some public art or whatever. But then I saw this shop here, and it says Catford Express. Let's see if we can find any other cat motifs in this town. We recycle all our used cooking oil into biodiesel. Good on you. All right. I thought that's a cat box, but it's cake box. Anyway, I guess we're in London again. We weren't last time. We were in Cambridge, weren't we? Josh's Cosmetics? No. It's a station here, an overground station, but I can't quite read the station number. That says Eltham. That doesn't help either. I don't know where Eltham is, but London is a good enough guess, isn't it? It is for me, unless in London, then it's not a good enough guess. Good enough. And yeah, it was out here and it looks like that. Oh, it was Catford. That's funny. Catford Bridge, Catford Station. That makes sense now. With the cat and the buttered cat paradox. So this is, I actually don't know what this cat is called, but it's, I guess, the cat from Dr. Seuss. I wonder what it's doing in this neighborhood and if Dr. Seuss originated here. Yeah, Dr. Seuss chilling on this corner on his way to the DMV or whatever the fuck they call it. This is probably the US. This is a school, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a library. I'm Jefferson Avenue. Look at that house. That's a thing and a bit, isn't it? I'm going to say this is in, oh, this is tricky. Stop, all-way. I mentioned that yesterday. That's the four-way stop sign situation. We don't know who goes next. Epcot? I can't decide whether I think this is on the east or the west coast, but I think maybe the east coast. I can't just look at C1 weatherboard house now and be like, oh, it's the west coast because this house is made of brick. Yeah, and I think this is going to be near New York anyway. Maybe like somewhere near Princeton or something. God damn it, it was this place, Naperville in Chicago, and it doesn't say anything about. It was a library, so I still win the round. All right, here we have the third round of the buttered cat paradox, and it's alarming to say the least. It's those little dashboard cats you get at the $2 shop, and they wave to you when you drive. Like a lucky cat. Just notice though that these cats all look super sad. They're not smiling, but can a cat smile? I don't think it can. It smiles with its tail. Anyway, not sure, but perhaps this is in. Oh no, is this in Japan? Oh my god. I need to really address this issue that I'm having. We'll go northern Japan. Yeah, that looks good. Just near Tokyo. Never mind. All right, on to the next buttered cat paradox. That is not a cat. Oh, it is a cat. It's a big cat. And it's, yeah, then a lioness, and they're staring at me. Oh my god. I've had some bad zoo guesses in my time. This is the Anglo Gold Lion Enclosure. Don't know about the title. The Anglo Gold Lion Enclosure. And we have a hint of a flag here, but not really. And it's not a very good clue. That, of course, is blurred. Some conifers, green fence, and woman with 2 children in her pram and a woman with no child in hers. That would be mildly concerning to me given the lion. No, there's the child. See, there's its feet. Okay, what do I think about where we are? I think that these are South Africans. This is a zoo in South Africa. That's my guess. There's just something funny about the name of this enclosure, don't you think? That'll do. Let's see. Hey, look, I was right. It was South Africa. The reason I chose South Africa wasn't the topography or the flora or the fauna or whatever, because I think zoos are hard to pick. I just feel like there aren't many places that would make a name like this, which basically says, if you translate it, literally Anglo means white in English speaking. Yeah, that's why I picked it. Gold is obviously a precious metal. Maybe I'm reading too much into that Anglo gold sign, but I honestly don't think I am. In the slightest. I don't think I am. All right, let's get out of that trouble and onto the next butted cat paradox now. Is this piece of earth moving machinery the cat in question? They're often called cats, are they not? Bobcats and what not? And will have you? Maybe not. Let's just actually look for a cat. We might have one. This is a very interesting spot. Very exposed piece of coastline and some cranes and things like that. I haven't seen a butted cat yet, but I think the machinery is probably what he's referring to, unless there's something else. Whatever it is, I'm not seeing it. That's okay. Maps get updated on the reg. I'm still happy to make this guess. And based on that, I'm going to say it's in Japan as well. And if you're looking north and the water's behind us, then yeah, I don't know. Let me just pick somewhere, some random island like there. That'll do. Wrong random island. Now let's just go back and look and scroll back to the previous image that's available and see if we can see a cat. 2014. Actually isn't any more images available. So perhaps I'm just not seeing. Oh, is that the cat? Is that a cat? Hold on. Let's just scooch here. No, it's not a cat. It's a fucking rock. Okay. Am I missing something here? It's likely. That's okay. I quite like this map. It's funny. All right, that one will remain a mystery. And we did okay on this weird map, the butted cat paradox. Thank you very much to the map maker. Let's go to the next one. Or should I end the episode once and for all? How many left? We've got rocks and minerals, vegetable man map, fruit and veggies, and vegetation oddities. Let's take a break. Okay, we're back again to complete these Geoguessr maps in what has turned out to become an exceedingly long episode, but such is life. So it goes, as Taylor Swift famously said. All right, what shall we do next? Vegetation oddities. They better be odd. That's all I can say. From without even panning, this is probably going to be somewhere coastal. This looks like coastal vegetation. Wouldn't say it's an oddity. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm even going to go as far as to say that it's somewhere in Australia. Let's have a spin and see what lies in front of us. Might be wrong about that coastal thing now, although is that sea spray or smoke? I'm still inclined to think that this is coastal based on presence of some lichens. I don't think if this was somewhere in the desert, say, I don't think you would see that, but the ground looks muddy. We will find out whether I'm a fool or a genius. Try and figure out where that sun is. So you would see some of this type of vegetation on a similar latitude, wouldn't you? Anyway, I'm going to go the shipwreck coast for this one. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know anything. Look, I was right in a sense. I can justify any choice. No, it wasn't really right. It was in the center of this little island not far from Mauritius, actually. Oh, is this Reunion? Hold on. Is it? It's Reunion Island. Oh, there you go. Silly me. And it was in the center, but I would still count this as coastal because an island is just all a big coast, isn't it? So yeah, I would consider that 5,000 points. All right, we have another. Yeah, this is a vegetation oddity. I would agree with that. There's a few different things going on here. Got these curious ferns. It's just like a patch of varying vegetations in the middle of I don't know, a highland area. I think that's water. I'm going to say that I'm gonna say this is Scotland. That's my thought on the matter. Let's say we're like somewhere near Tongue. Oh God, I'm so bad at this game. But again, I would like to draw your attention to latitudes. Now, I know this doesn't fall on the same latitude, but it falls at a similar degree. So if you look at the equator and the distance from the equator of my guess and the distance to this one, that suggests that they fall in a similar climate. That's my argument there. And of course, it was Antipodes Island. And I bet if we went to Scotland right now, let's do it. First, we'll go to Antipodes Island and we pick something a similar distance away, but in a northern direction. I should have looked at the sun. I don't know why I didn't. You'll see what I'm talking about right now. Here, look, this is in support of me. I think this really does support what I was just saying about similar climates. I'm going to open this as well so we can do a quick compare and contrast of this landscape, this mountain, and this. Look at that grass. That is the same species of grass. All right, I am justified now, even not in your minds, in my own at least. Go me. All right, vegetation oddities. Now, these are just palm trees planted outside a door. And yeah, I wouldn't consider them to be an oddity. It must be in Europe somewhere. It's holding on. Looks like she's got 2 infants, so that makes sense. I suppose this is the Netherlands then, although the number plate isn't really helping with that case at all, but the windmill is, and the flatness and the water and the other. This is English here on the sign. Doesn't really mean much though, does it? Look, it's a tough game, isn't it? Solving the world. Any clues in this abode? Home is where the heart is. That is what they say. I'm going to pick somewhere around here. Why? I don't know why it didn't occur to me to pick Ireland. I think I saw those number plates. I recognized that they weren't English number plates and then just forgot that Ireland existed. And for that, there is no excuse. There's literally no excuse. For some reason, I thought they had the same number plates. They don't have the same number plates. All right, we have a little charming kind of weird boulevard of palm trees and in an area that's obviously developing into a kind of holiday-esque type place. This just looks like the States to me, and I think, I mean, I've not got one right so far, so I'm hesitant to say anything, but that letterbox has got to be the indicator, right? That mailbox, that's where we are. Part of me thought that this is perhaps like Hampton-y, but then I don't think there would be this many palm trees there, so I'm more inclined to think this is more Miami-y. It almost looks seem to be Miami. Am I a fool? Maybe it's the California side, actually. That's probably slightly more likely. I don't know. I'm really flailing this round. It's not panning out in the way that I'd hoped. It says this is Olive Links. It's gonna be so wrong. Yeah, it's fucking South Korea. I don't think I should feel bad about that one, unless I missed something. But there was that letterbox. So that's all I've got to say. Carrying on. Nothing is what it seems, but I know an American couple when I see one. No, I don't. I actually don't know anything, it turns out. Glass boat, Viking, massive house out here or hotel on the water, taxi, boat taxi. Does it say Holland? Still call it Holland. 12, no dollar signs, no euro signs, no pound signs, nothing. But this here says Limfjord, Vassar. It's lots of Viking references. Would I be remiss in thinking that this is somewhere else? I probably would be. Look at this. All the flags have got the Austrian, the French, the European. No, that's a Swedish flag tucked in there, isn't it? Here you'll observe a herd of boomers, as David Attenborough would likely say, characterized by their checkered shirts and open-toe shoes. So yeah, the boomer group here. Sweden is the likely option. South, and we see. I don't know. This doesn't look like the waterfront of Stockholm, though. Is this little Sweden? Is this fake? I think I'm being set up here. This is probably the US again, right? Oh, hold on a second. That looks like the number plate that you would see. Oh my God. It has the flag of. Is this Croatia? Is this Croatia? Is that a Croatian flag? Now I'm really confused. This language might not be what I thought it was. Glassboat biking tour, day and night tour. Look, I'm going to make a quick change in direction and just pick Croatia, I think. And I don't know where Split. I just can't imagine Spume as being in Split. But we will. Maybe it's like Zadar or something. That'll do. Thank God. Wow. Lucky I saw that tiny little Croatian flag. It would have been a disaster. I would have quit. I would have quit the game. We were in the Emporium. All right. Oh no. Even not for that last round. That's disgraceful. Goodbye, fruit and veggies. All right, here we go. And the first veggie off the rank is an apple, and it's seen better days. The oxidization hasn't occurred on the bite, though, or there's a hole here, which is presumably from some apple-loving worm. And we have interesting road line situation here with the yellow inner and the white broken line, which is annoying. And that says Way District. Got a car here with a sort of stumpier number plate that kind of reminds me of one you might see in Australia or New Zealand. But it's really difficult, isn't it? 99-cent avocado. Got a cafe. Do New Zealand have yellow centre lines? That is the question. Look. Apples. Who grows apples? That is another important question. Oh, and fucking hell. They're driving on the left. Okay, I deserve to not play this game anymore. That's a pretty good sign that we can eliminate a lot of countries. But can we eliminate? Yeah, okay, we're in New Zealand. Just shut up. Just shut up. That's Madagascar. I'm sick, guys. Say on the way to Hamilton, that'll do. It's actually a pretty good game after all that, considering I had no idea which country we were in. Phew. All right. All the signs were there. I was just missing the most important one, which was the side of the road they were driving on. Now, for this one, here are the veggies, and they are some extremely sad looking pumpkins that look more like, fat ducks. Really fat ducks. This looks like a bill up here. It looked like, I don't know, chocolate chips or something. I was going to say the obvious abject thing, but whatever. Look at that fire hydrant. That's an indicator in itself, isn't it? I thought this looked like Canada. Then again, road quality is pretty piss poor. Is that the salt and pepper road of Texas that I see? No, I don't think it is. I think this is Canada. But why? I could just see one or two. No parking anytime. Never park here. One or two more signs. Now, if this is Canada, it's probably the US, isn't it not? If this is Canada, where is it? Why do I think Canada? Literally no reason other than, I don't know what. Do they have the pumpkin traditions there? Why are these here as well? What's the deal? I'm going to go for somewhere outside of Toronto. Oh my God. Oh God, I'm so bad at this game. It's California. It's California. Gosh. All right. We have an orange. We have an orange in Australia too, a big orange. We have several big things, in fact. But this isn't the Australian orange. It's obviously a US orange. It says fall fun. We call it autumn, not fall. If I know anything about oranges, it is that they're grown in California, maybe other places too. Modesto. Oh, of course, they grow them there as well. Never mind. I don't care. Another apple. Boring. All right. We're in Cornelia, which is the name of, I think that's the name of Barbar's mum, isn't it? Or dad? Cornelius. Now, I'm not having a lot of success today. American fire hydrant. Got a caboose, and that's that. Oh, we have a state flag. Damn it. Oh, hello. It's a child doing some yard work. No, another child observing the first child slinging a shot. I'm going to pick somewhere south for this though, because of the historical town elements. I guess it has that vibe. Charlotte in North Carolina, or Charleston, Atlanta, Columbus maybe. Let's go Columbus, even though we're in a town called Cornelia, whatever. Yeah. Oh, look, we're brought back to this region. something about this region. We need to come back here because we keep getting drawn to this area. We're in the vicinity of places such as Soggy Daisy and Pigeon Forge and Chattanooga as well. Ball Ground. Just got to see what's up around here. We'll suss you out soon enough. Okay, on to the next one. That was an okay guess. Not my best, but it was okay. Now, what boring fruit do we have here? This is unidentifiable. I don't know what fruit this could possibly be. And if this is a grape, then shame on you. Shame on you. That is not a grape. Japan? Must be. Must be? I think Taiwan goes to all the way to the bottom. Japan only a little bit. And of course, if I knew the language, that would help a great deal too. But I don't. These are the times I'm living in. A time of not knowing, but in the end got an okay score. It did look Southern Japanese. Wow. All right. Good New Zealand guess, good Japan guess, and multiple trash US guesses, except for one I think was okay. We certainly will not play that again. That was disappointing. If I open my lunchbox and saw two apples, an orange, and a spiderweb covered grape, I would be extremely sad. All right, vegetable man map. Do not let me down, please. It's risky. Better be good. The cat one, the Buttercat Paradox, is fantastic. All right, vegetable man. Is this a restaurant chain? I guess I'm going to pick, hold on, Japan or is this Taiwan? Why don't I know? I say this every time. Just go somewhere around here. Okay, it was not bad. Not bad. I didn't pick there, did I? I didn't. I picked Kobe. That's where I dropped it. But if I actually picked Kobe, it would have been a fucking unreal guess. Whatever. Doesn't even matter. Look, this whole round's in Japan. Last 2 rounds have been a bit of a flop. Let's bail on this and pick something fun. All right, look, we're going to end with the guy with the white hat. We've played this map twice, and yeah, we want to see if we can spot him in a few other locations. Here we go. How many are there, in fact? 98, not bad. Okay, here we go. All right, here we are. I think we've had this one before. If it's the same one, he'll be in several of these images. Yeah. And from memory, last time I picked Romania, but it wasn't right. And it turned out to be maybe Serbia or something. But I shouldn't just go based on my old guess. I should go based on what I'm seeing. But I'm not going to. I'm going to pick it anyway. So let's head to somewhere near Belgrade and see if that's where the white hat guy is, the memory serves. Unless it's just in Bulgaria. No, it wasn't. Well done me for just remembering something. All right, here we are at the next location. And I still get a double up. Now, where is white hat guy? I had this one as well. Hold on. Sometimes he's really hard to spot. There he is. There he is. Now, I think I have actually had this one before and made the mistake of picking the Golden Gate Bridge. Is this going to happen to me again? There are 2 Golden Gate Bridges. Hold on. Welcome to the Welcome Center in the Information Store for the look. I thought I had more tiers than that. I think it is going to be there, but not the right bridge. There are 2, aren't there? Am I the stupidest person alive? Is this the Eiffel Tower situation all over again? Am I talking myself out of picking one of the world's most memorable landmarks? I might be the stupidest person. Look, I think I have to pick the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know why I'm so happy. I'm happy because I fucking 5K'd it. It could have picked any side of the bridge. Any side. I didn't even think that was the Golden Gate Bridge. That's how amazing that guess is. I'm sorry, I'm claiming that. I'm claiming that. That was a great 5K. Despite it being such a recognizable landscape. I don't care. I don't care. All right. I hope he isn't unconscious in a pile of rubbish for this one, but possible. Let's see if we can spot him. Haven't seen him yet. Going on some adventure, aren't they? These 2. Find him. There he is. There's the white hat guy. Now, more importantly, where are we? Where are we? Super like Julia Stiles and Mona Lisa Smile. One of my thoughts was that it's somewhere like a high altitude. I thought Bolivia for a second, but I don't know now. It could be the US as well. It's just a dumping ground, but the flatness and the kind of aridness and the nothingness made me think it could be somewhere near the train graveyard. There's a slipstream. Slipstream is what they call caravan out here. I think I want to pick the US for this one, even though, hold on, let's check out this brand of vacuum. Clues. So now the soil color matches what I expect Bolivian soil color to look like. I also don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That much is evident. Yeah, maybe, gosh, who knows? Somewhere hot. Doesn't look right, does it? None of this looks right. But I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go say it's somewhere out. Oh, the mountains just don't look right. Mega transport train line. Maybe I should go back to South America and pick somewhere around there. Where's their car? You're on a road trip. I don't know if you would just drive around on your own out here if you were in South America. It doesn't seem like something one might do, but more likely in the US, I think. Oh gosh. It's not going to be either of these places you watch. Maybe it's like Mexico or something. Yeah, I'm struggling. Look, I'm going to go New Mexico. All right. I was hovering around this area and I moved it. And for that, I am full of regret. Here we have him. Very easy to spot this time. And he has a big clue for us. But is that big clue a big false clue? A false flag? Literally a false flag. I'm going to trust him. He seems trustworthy. And there he is as well, being extremely creepy. We're in Canada. And I'm going to say that we're on this side and somewhere like, where would tourists go? They're not going to go out to some random swamp, are they? But you never know. That'll do. Oh, what a jerk. What a jerk. He was in the USA. No, I'm offended. I trusted him. I trusted him. Okay, final location. When I first saw this location, I thought that this was Florence, but I don't. That's right anymore. It just reminded me of a particular lookout that these mountains don't. Let's reassess that and go again. This is more likely to be South America. Very interesting. Is this Cristo? No. It's no ocean. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh my God, that literally says Cristo. That doesn't mean anything still. I don't think we're looking at the well-known Cristo. And there are several Christs atop hilltops, atop mountains around South America and Latin America. But is it just like a viewing? Is it a perspective thing? Am I just not seeing the ocean? Oh, I really don't know. I think it could be Colombia or Brazil. I wish I could just read some more details. But anyway, let's find the white hat guy. Remiss in spotting him. There is a white hat, but it's not white hat guy, is it? Where is he? He's probably gone to the toilet. I'll be very upset if this is, in fact, Rio de Janeiro. It looks big enough to be it, but I can't see an ocean. But maybe that's it out there. It's just so foggy I can't tell. But it's not that far away from the water, though, is it? I've seen another one in a place on this border. I don't think it is this one, but Caramba. Yeah, this town's way too small for that. But maybe Campo Grande could be the city. Oh God, it was just in Bogota. Never mind. It's okay. I should have considered another country. Don't know where he was in that one. A pretty poor score, but whatever. What you gonna do? Now, I think I should probably end this episode. I hope you enjoyed that, learning about the origins of San Pellegrino water, veggie stock, and also Duck River butter from Tasmania, but not from Duck River. That's that. Thanks so much again for watching, and hooroo.